wearing a green shirt and brown shorts. Andrew Hughes, a 15-year-old black-haired young man, was in his room, munching on food while he packed the last few things he would need for a trip. The opportunity to travel came from his friend's grandmother's subscription to the Misterious magazine, which dealt with mystical and exoteric things as prophecies, mediumships, astral planes, and encounters with Venusian proctologists. The stars lined up in favor of Miss Mary Ann, making her the winner of the all-paid stay for the Shabbat resort that the magazine raffled for its most loyal subscribers to celebrate its 14th year. She decided to give the prize to her grandson as an early birthday present, something that would happen within 5 months. As used to happen in his life, Andrew was a plan B. As the stay was for two, Jenny, John's girlfriend, was the obvious choice, but she couldn't go due to a week of exams at college. To make up for his upcoming week-long absence in the resort, John had been spending the entire week at her house. It was expected that he would return this day, and if possible, the friends would go the next day to the promised paradise. As he rummaged around in his backpack for the umpteenth time looking for his Swiss Army knife, his dog, Captain, jumps onto the bed, wallowing in the blanket, as he always did when he realized his owner was about to leave. Andrew throws on him the cap that the dog had tried so many times to tear apart. He had decided to buy a new one during the trip. He heard his mother calling, and went downstairs to find her in her bathrobe in the kitchen. A sleepless night was responsible for the tired eyes and unkempt hair she presented herself with. Then under normal conditions, she never neglected to look her best as soon as the day began. "Do you want the tuna or salami sandwich?" she asked. "Whatever. You and your indifference. Do you know if your father has already decided to sell that collection of magazines?" "Oh. If it's on the list," Andrew said, heading towards the garage, realizing something. Once there, he went straight to the toolbox, where, in fact, he had absently placed the knife when he was screwing the seat of his bicycle that would also go to the garage sale. Almost forgetting, goes to the shelf where he could see some of the items that were already awaiting their new destination, an imitation of a Fabog egg, a porcelain mermaid, under which he found the folded list, a decoration of a never-used Halloween skull, and a St. George statuette strategically positioned next to a grim-faced garden dwarf to make him change his ways. With a pickaxe resting on his shoulders, he makes the sign of silence, looking ready to do some meanness. Checking the list, it seemed it was still difficult for his father to leave his Mondo 2000 magazine collection behind. He told his mother, went back to his bedroom. Captain was still there, more than happy in destroying his archenemy. Putting the knife in his backpack and understanding that everything was ready, he headed for the bus stop equipped with the swing set by the police, with the song "Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic" on his earplugs. He didn't have to wait long to feel the bus's engine vibrating the ground almost in time with the music. He was surprised at the door when greeted by Grandmother Mary Ann, whom he only knew through photographs. She didn't look like the crazy hippie the old photos suggested then. They chatted a little about their expectations about their resort, but since Andrew was probably looking to freshen up from the bus trip, she decided to leave the curiosities for dinner time, leaving the boy to go to the bedroom where he had stayed so often as a child. John's bedroom still looked like a museum, the remote past, with its ancient cities, promising adventures and lost treasures, delighted his friend. Of the items Andrew remembered, John still kept a miniature wooden elephant, an hourglass, a set of 3 small pyramids, but now a poster of Lara Croft replaced the one with Indiana Jones on the wall. There was even a little stone statuette, looking really old, as if it had come from some forgotten place. A full scan would be exhausting. Bookshelves, rack, and shelf were filled with such trinkets, but of course, a bedroom like that wouldn't be complete without a polished globe on his nightstand, and an antique-looking yellowed world map on the wall. Andrew had never fixated on a particular fascination like his friend. During childhood, His interest had been dinosaurs, then dragons and generic colossal creatures, until the great Japanese mecha started to occupy his imagination, and then everything had turned out to be too fleeting to make him a collector. Along with the neighbor Rupert Stern, whose predilection was monsters and gooey things that disgusted mainly his sister Julia, the friends traversed Martian deserts and prehistoric forests with their father's old broken walkie-talkie, often in search of a collection of old coins that served them as treasure. The collection, by the way, seemed to be close, and Andrew, curious if it was still kept where he expected, decides to take a look.